This video is for educational and observational purposes only. I am not diagnosing anyone. No real names or identities are shown. Any resemblance to real people is purely coincidental. Reddit rewards cluster B narcissists with 0 receipts. They sound confident, but nobody got laid for Daygame in 2025 over there. Stop listening to armchair experts. Reddit worships mystery method tactics and RSD mass approaches like a religion. But in 2025, tariff stress and economic pressure change people's emotions. More cortisol, worse vibe, worse tonality, and their Daygame numbers game collapsed. Still no receipts for Daygame. Still the worst Daygame advice in the world, because the loudest cluster B people there have the least credibility and the most ego. I know it sounds crazy, because we are so used to seeing free advice that exists from Reddit. These people who wants to so desperately be Daygame coaches or teach themselves without paying money for coaching like communists, and mass approaching with tactics. And while you think that is important, I am going to share 3 exposed secrets with you today. This will revolutionize the way you decide who to listen to in Daygame. So what is the real reason Reddit free advice keeps you stuck and sexless in Daygame for 2025 and soon to be 2026? It is 3 exposed secrets about Reddit and their Daygame advice that produce 0 receipts for Daygame in 2025. Exposed secret number 1, Reddit armchair experts and no Daygame receipts. The big idea here is Reddit rewards confidence, not competence, so the loudest guy in the thread becomes the leader, even if he has 0 Daygame results. They give advice in every single thread like they are experts, but when you look for proof, there is nothing. And in 2025, the whole thing got exposed, because nobody could show real laid or pulled results for Daygame. This is important because if you take advice from a guy with no verifiable receipts, you copy his failures. You waste months, you waste years, doing the same broken RSD and mystery method strategy, while thinking you are improving at Daygame. That is what armchair experts do. They have no transferable skills. They only have opinions. They have this communist mindset of sharing nonsense advice. Exposed secret number 2, a numbers game delusion in 2025 for direct game. The main thing to understand here is Reddit treats Daygame like ads. Push enough volume, someone will convert. But it didn't work in 2025 for Daygame for Reddit seduction forums. They worship mystery method tactics. They worship RSD-style direct mass approaching, like it is a religion. But in 2025, tariff stress and economic pressure flipped the winner and loser effect on them. They started losing more. Cortisol went up, testosterone went down, and the advice got even more delusional. Because the numbers game only works when you already have enough SMV and enough emotional control to not sound depressed in Daygame. In 2025, most guys sounded stressed, rushed, emotionally wrecked. So women rejected them harder. Then they doubled down. More tactics, more volume, more Asperger-style rules. Still no receipts. And the funniest part is they cannot explain why nobody is getting laid for Daygame on Reddit, because their whole identity is built on the idea that mass approaching is the fail-safe. It is not. Not for Daygame in 2025. This means if you keep listening to Reddit numbers game advice, you grind yourself into cortisol. You lose confidence. You beat yourself up. You still do not get results, because you are training the wrong system for Daygame. The tariff is ruining their voice, sounding depressed because they are cluster B narcissistic sociopaths with borderline personality disorder and a histrionic show-off personality. Women are repulsed by them because they are stacking cortisol due to the economy, disabling direct game, and are running a numbers game like a zombie. Exposed secret 3, toxicity and smear campaigns. Reddit attracts a high concentration of toxic behavior, narcissism, sociopath energy, borderline mood swings, histrionic show-offs. And when those guys fail in Daygame, they do not self-correct. They attack outward since they are narcissistic people who can do no wrong in their own minds. They smear coaches. They hate on anyone with student receipts. They turn Daygame into a debate club. These fuckers are giving advice almost all day, yet they can't get a single person laid during the 2025 tariffs. Doesn't that debunk a numbers game? Too much cortisol stress, so their voice sounds depressed and women are more resistant. This also debunks direct game, since other Daygame coaches didn't get anyone laid in 2025 except for me. Never mind the Redditors who are losers. They also love smear campaigning dating coaches. There are lots of these types that attacks dating coaches on Reddit when they don't even take any accountability or take responsibility for their cluster B narcissistic sociopath, while worshipping RSD and mystery method, the false idols. Also the derivatives of them like Todd V, who has 3 Daygame laid testimonials, as people don't get laid on his coaching since he is a derivative of RSD. The zombies has no critical thinking there, listening to overcomplicated Asperger's-like advice from former engineers. That has no social intelligence, and the pattern is always the same. The loudest guys on Reddit have the least accountability. The more they lose, the more cortisol they get. The more toxic they become due to the winner and loser effect. Then they start hurting other men by giving advice that keeps them stuck in Daygame 2. They call everything a scam. They want refunds. They want zero responsibility. They want results without being coachable. Absolutely crazy. And I have seen other Daygame coaches' name get dragged through the mud there too. This is key because if you stay in that Reddit environment, it will poison your mindset. It will make you more avoidant. It will make you hate the very training, like my training that would actually fix your Daygame, because you are brainwashed from RSD and mystery method. Then you will say Julian Blanc has good game or Todd V, who are RSD derivatives. Or we all know mystery method is legit. That is how you type your fucking sentence there. Does it work in 2025 for Daygame? Of course not. Yet their tactics doesn't work anymore. I have over a dozen people laid on Reddit, some up to 100 lays or 30 lays, some married. One guy pulled a virgin and fingered her, who is a half Latino. Another Latino from New York, he didn't even approach. He made one approach in total and was gatekeeping the truth. He didn't want to change his haircut. He complains how my workout routine were wrong, but my students are twice as big as him muscle-wise, doing a fraction of the work. This is what happens with gatekeepers with opinions as facts, not facts as opinions. He tells people he is busy as an excuse for not approaching due to cluster C personality disorder, not to mention his super delusional cluster B personality mixed with that. He saw so many of my students laid, he never denied it and said my system works on there. But in reality, he has the worst approach anxiety out of all my students, then buys medication, not supplements, from the dark web to fix it. Absolutely insane. But obviously that didn't work. He cites that he got a girlfriend before for Daygame, so he knows what he is talking about. But does he have the same natural status as before? Outside events can impact ethnicities. For example, Donald Trump has ICE raids. This has happened twice now, since he was re-elected again. If that is the case, then won't that lower the natural status of Latinos? Remember when COVID happened, people blamed Chinese people and it lowered their social standing. That is before the lab leak theory in China. Then people forgave Chinese people entirely in the West. World events can impact your sexual market value. Then another half Latino quit in 14 days, blaming me when he failed every single homework assignment, who took so many breaks in between. It's tough when you are taller and formerly had higher SMV before. Now that things are tougher, they refer back to their Daygame lays, or they got a girlfriend, or they got laid for night game and Tinder, not Daygame from many years ago before the inflation or tariff era. But they, in my opinion, has grandiose narcissism, always referencing the past. With the present times with the economic stress, their voice is full of cortisol, sounding depressed, turning women off. With alexithymia or emotional blindness. They can't hear that in their voice for their homework assignments or in fields. They will say you are gaslighting them, when I can clearly hear it, and so can women. They sound lethargic and super depressed, but they can't hear it. They can only hear how long their in fields or homework assignment is, or hear if the notes goes up or down. It's like the emotions are completely disconnected. Why do you think all of Reddit Daygamers failed? Only 2 people didn't get results on Reddit, the loudest 2. But the rest did out of a dozen people or more for my students. So my success rate for Redditors is extremely high. It's like over 85% success rate. Only 3 people didn't get laid, but 1 did pull a virgin and fingered her. The other 2, well, they have such strong opinions as facts by gatekeeping, then putting Reddit on the pedestal for mystery method and RSD shit, when nobody got laid there on Reddit in 2025. But my students, they typically don't join from there anyways, so less drama to deal with. A few loud cluster B and cluster C people, in my opinion, shouldn't speak for the rest who got laid from there. Red pill, black pill, mecto, Asian masculinity, same hardware, different operating systems, same toxic behaviors. That's why they love these forum groups, talking with others to reinforce their cluster B delusions with other like-minded people. For the mecto and black pill, cluster C avoidant personality disorders mixed with cluster B narcissism, sociopathy, borderline personality, and also histrionic show-off behavior. Now I know what you are thinking. If Reddit is trash, who do I listen to instead for Daygame? Well, the tricky thing is free advice is not free. You pay with time. And Reddit advice is mostly written by guys who are losing, so their cortisol is high. Their mindset is distorted. And they are not even aware they are spreading failure patterns like a mind virus. Even right now in the community section, someone is preaching to me I need to modernize and focus on text game. They have such strong opinions as facts, what is right and wrong. But how many people did they get laid for Daygame? Opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one. I'm the only Daygame coach who got people laid this year consistently. Last year, I got 55. These armchair experts, gatekeeping with opinions as facts. Everyone is an expert these days, but with no student proof of results for Daygame. Sure, before 2025's tariffs, a few people got laid on there for the 2024 inflation. Also, previous years, they got more lays. But to have 0 lays 2025, outside of a black natural, who is a show-off semantic narcissist. He once wrote he had a party and got 5 lays in a row. He has decent incomplete advice, but is there any proof? Except for him being a narcissist, showing off to a bunch of Reddit losers. He wrote that story right after my student posted how he got a stripper for Daygame, and everyone couldn't believe it was possible since nobody else got laid there. Then he posted that story of 5 lays in one day. There are no pictures to prove any of this. He needs a narcissistic supply from there. The Reddit forum is for losers and weirdos and histrionic show-offs. Pretty much writing fan fiction. Yes, 85% of my Reddit students did get laid. Make no mistake about that. Maybe even higher. Only 3 didn't. 1 pulled a virgin, fingered her. The other 2, well, they failed everything and didn't even approach, or they rage quit in 14 days. In the future, I might post all my Reddit students and their laid testimonials as proof. I don't have time here. I only wanted to call them out for the worst Daygame advice in the world this year. And so I built the Elite Bundle Resurrections. It is my full Daygame coaching system. You can train the drills, fix your emotional control, and start getting laid and pulls in Daygame again. I am John Elite, world's best Daygame coach. I have the most laid and pull testimonials for Daygame, even in 2025. I have been teaching since 2012. What I do is spot the real patterns that get men laid in Daygame, cut out delusional forum Reddit advice, and turn everything into drills that force results. So you do not have to listen to complainers, triggered losers, and unteachable case zombies, or armchaired experts preaching to you in my community section. So what I have done is package the full system into Elite Bundle Resurrections. When you click the link in the description, in case you could not find me on Google, you can still get started immediately. You can see the Daygame training courses. You can see what is included, and you can decide if it is for you. I also have the webinar. If you need more clarity and want to understand my Daygame system, there is a 1-hour video on there. You can play at double speed to get the ideas faster.
Opinions and fair comment based on records in my possession, not medical or legal advice, not a diagnosis. Redacted for privacy, I correct material errors. If you Googled my name, you might see a Reddit review before you Googled my site, John Elite. This isn't a review. They never looked at the course. They started with Elite Access, not the whole Elite Bundle Resurrections. It's meant to turn you off before you meet me and try to turn off 777,000 people on Reddit in their seduction forum. A smear campaign is a planned effort to discredit a person or a group and tarnish their reputation. Psychology Today. Smear campaigns involve manipulation, often the behavior of malignant narcissists and those with NPD or antisocial personality disorders. Patterns, not diagnosis. Psychology Today. Those recruited by the abusers become an entourage known as the Flying Monkeys. Psychology Today. I'm describing behavioral patterns, not making medical and psychological diagnosis. Number 1, omission plus rage quit plus hypocrisy. He wrote to me, your system can obviously work very well, as you can see in the screenshot. Did 14 days. He rage quit in the same day another Chinese student who got 15 lays, 5 models, 5 white girls, 2 actresses in the marriage. He procreated. He had a daughter. He described himself as having thin skin as he's crashing out. So for online, he flips it. He did not get laid. He didn't poll. That's what he said. But in my view, you cannot rage quit in 2 weeks and claim the system failed. That's hypocrisy. He never seen the digital courses on Elite Bundle Resurrections either. I said in this screenshot. He wanted to start Elite 30, but I didn't let him, as you can see right here highlighted. He only went through Elite Access. I cite it in the screenshots, and I didn't let him start yet. How can he make a fair, objective review on Reddit that is actually a hit piece, in my opinion? Number 2, initial contact. Proof of emotional blindness. First message. I feel like I'm a hard case. Depressed, ghosted, ignored. In his own words. Later in his Reddit rant, he says that he wasn't depressed, that he was gaslit, and I labeled him. That does not sound confident. When someone says hard case, but refuses the drills and to flip their own words, that's typically not coachable in my experience. It fits under unteachable case, not hard case in my opinion. Dismissive narcissistic style, low self-awareness. Number 3, voice playback, emotional disconnect. On the playback, I told him his tone was flat. He replied, I try to mimic Joe Rogan. I guess not. You can see in the screenshots. He literally admitted that he could not hear it himself. In my view, that's emotional blindness, style behavior, not connected to his own tone, no ability to register mistakes. He later spun it as gaslighting, but the evidence show that he said it first. Number 4, progress and quit. Not enough to change habits. He logged in 12 drills only, really bad drills, 17 approaches, which are just less than 10 seconds each approach, across 14 days, 17 approaches with audio over 14 days, which he rage quit because of that Chinese student procreating. I have the chart. As you can see, I logged in all the times that he approached. We could show every screenshot, but there's big gaps, skip check-ins. As he says, he even complained, why do I have to check in every single day, as you can see in the screenshot? In my view, habits don't transform without sporadic effort. Quitting before the foundation even doesn't prove failure. It proves avoidance. Number 5, NDA, $400 goodwill payment, the breach of contract without remorse. He signed a non-disparagement NDA. It took $400 goodwill payment, as you can see in the screenshot, that he ignored it. He made a smear campaign anyways. This posted statement, I believe, are inconsistent with that agreement. It really says that he cannot write a hit piece. Number 6, scope of access, not a full program review. He never started Elite Bundle Resurrections. He got Elite Bundle 2 at a time. And he did not access the digital courses there. His experience was limited to Elite Access. In my opinion, presenting that as a review of my full system is misleading, as you can see in the screenshot. He cannot even start Elite 30. Number 7, supplements, the real deal. His claim was that irresponsible prescriptions. Well, that's false. I don't prescribe anything. These are over-the-counter Amazon available optional over-the-counter items that aren't prescriptions. Only doctors can prescribe. This student never used them. He placed 2 duplicate orders by accident. Both stayed unopened. On the phone, he said that I'd rather get everything from food. I'm worried about side effects because he's a vegetarian. He later reframed this as death by supplements because a student died. In reality, the case he cited involves a lung clot, not a stroke. A stroke is in the brain. This is a different condition entirely when he's referencing alpha GPC. He's trying to make something fit that doesn't fit. His hypocrisy is that he's credited in the vegetarian-themed film that he filmed and produced and wrote called Meatless Barbecue in 2018 while attacking supplements he never tried because he's a vegetarian. Number 8, bans, the truth. He claims that weeks of bans, stuck in a limbo, no coaching. Well, that's false. He only ever had a 3-day accountability ban, as you can see in the screenshot. In reality, I rarely ban students at all. At most, 1 indefinite ban per year. Normal or short, 1 to 2 weeks max. A short reset spun into a smear about permanent bans on Reddit. Number 9, testimonials, straight numbers. His claim was that a few students make up all the testimonials. Well, that's false. During active coaching, each layer poll counts as individual results. For example, they got 8 lays, it'll count as 8 to the number. If a student disappears for months and later reports more results, I log that as 1 additional instance for that student, not 1 per lay. One guy had 12 lays. He came back 4 months later. He took a break, but he has 3 additional lays. And he made 3 more video testimonials, but I only count that as a number as 1. A student with 100 lays, he credited my coaching a year later when he came back. It's only recorded as 1, not 100. He did not see a sudden 100 plus lays for the number this year because it's at 667 laid and poll testimonials. It never went up to 767 laid and poll testimonials because I don't count them that way. What is a sociopathic smear campaign and how can you protect yourself? So this is from Psychology Today. Smear campaigns involve manipulation and are often behavior of narcissists. A smear campaign is planned effort to discredit a person or group or tarnish their reputation. Smear campaigns are a form of emotional abuse and they take a tremendous psychological toll on the victim. A smear campaign is a planned effort to discredit a person or group, to undermine their credibility and then tarnish their reputation. Those who launch smear campaigns go to great lengths to spread stories, lies, rumors, and gossip about their victims. Smear campaigns often associate with an online community. So a smear campaign is basically a vendetta or act of retaliation. They are tools of those who can be characterized as vengeful or vindictive, controlling or obsessive. Such individuals are often insecure and emotionally immature. Smear campaigns involve manipulation, and they're often a behavior of a malignant narcissist and those with narcissistic personality disorder and antisocial personality disorder, which is formerly known as sociopath and psychopath. They are abusers who paint the victim as the abuser. because they see themselves as the victim. These people are incapable of taking responsibility or accountability for their actions. They mount smear campaigns to control the narrative and often rewrite history. Smear campaigns amount to character assassination. The individual grooms other people over time to function as allies or followers. They do this by spreading false or exaggerated information about the target. Those recruited by the abuser to actively participate in their manipulation becomes an entourage known as the flying monkeys. These smear tactics won't work on all who are approached. Often they only influence people who are easily manipulated. How sociopaths write smear campaigns. Narcissistic word salad 101. Since I've been through a narcissistic sociopathic smear campaign myself, I know the structure of it. It always runs through 4 stages. Number 1, false accusations. Number 2, guilt trips. Number 3, pain points. Number 4 is circular reasoning. This is called narcissistic sociopath smear campaign. So here's the first article from Psychology Today. Narcissistic word salad, NPD meaning, which stands for narcissistic personality disorder. It is being used as a slang term for a type of narcissistic sociopath speech that is purposefully confusing. Listeners find narcissistic word salad extremely frustrating because the narcissist sociopath is using circular reasoning, outright lies, denial, or mischaracterizations of past events to avoid being wrong or having to take responsibility for something.